Alright, we just left Simrisham and we are headed into a little fog here. See kind of the coastline over here, sort of fog, and lots of fog up ahead. We got two boats ahead of us who actually have disappeared into the fog. So we've got our radar going, and we got a nice little sail, which is actually, it's kind of nice when you're in the fog to be sailing, even though you have a little bit more work to do because it's just a little quieter. You can hear other boats easier than when your motor is running, and just makes it a little easier to be aware of your surroundings. Nice back here, but not so nice up ahead. Very unusual to have fog. Probably, I think we had fog, once last year that I can remember coming out of Guernsey. And but we're ready. We've got our foghorn up there. And our foghorn automatic switch down below. This will probably be pretty short-lived. When the sun comes up further, heats up the land, we'll be all set.
It's about 200 nautical miles from Simrisham, Sweden, down under the southern coast of Sweden, and then north to the exciting and beautiful Göteborg archipelago. Right now, we're expecting a couple days of rain, so we're going to use that time to take long hops to get to the archipelago quickly. Essentially, we're going to hurry up in order to relax. And, as we all know, hurrying and pushing it for multiple days does have its drawbacks. Anyway, back to the fog. The moist air shows us the spider webs that had been built in our rigging. I think this is just beautiful. The wind died on us, so we're using our engine, and we turned on our automatic foghorn.
We've got the foghorn up here, working away. Okay.
Alright, good.
There we go.
That was like 57 seconds.
So it's set on a timer to go every 2 minutes down below on a control panel. And we've set our phone here to know when it's going to go off because it is extremely loud and uncomfortable, especially if you're right nearby it here. You can see our visibility is pretty limited, and we've been underway for doing this for about 20 minutes or so. It's pretty thick fog, especially considering where we are in Sweden. So we've got the foghorn mounted up here, out of the weather underneath the bimini. It's not the greatest location because it's right close to the cockpit and it's so loud, but we had limited places to put it. And then the wiring runs along here and down below. And down inside here in the nav station is the control panel, this part right here. So it's got two toggle switches. So the first one switches between motor and sail, and then there's this middle position where it's off, and then this one is underway or stopped. So that translates into different foghorn patterns. Right now we're motoring. I push this switch up for motoring and this switch up for underway, and that's one long blast every 2 minutes. If I switch it down to sail, then I think it's one long blast and one short blast, if I'm not mistaken. And then when you're stopped in the water or anchored, there's a different pattern for that. And I added this switch here, protected by this guard, that you can just put that, it's a momentary switch, you can push it aside and it'll blast the horn if you have to like signal to somebody, or 5 long blasts for danger, doubt, that kind of thing. There you go. So it's a little bit more tolerable in the cabin here, but very loud up on deck.
We're entering this canal that cuts off a part of Sweden's busy coast close to Copenhagen. So we're gonna go through this canal. There's a bridge on the other end that we have to wait for an opening, and that could take a little bit since I guess it's a different kind of week this week. There's some kind of festival going on that is changing the bridge opening schedule. So anyway, we're gonna get inside here. It's just a couple mile long canal. What? Yeah, some. Tom asked if there was some current going through. Yes. So yeah, it does look like there's some current pushing through. So we learned that the opening times for the canal had changed, and we had to sort of raft up to this siding midway down, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boats here rafted up. We were the second ones on this little siding, just little areas to, small little cleats to tie onto. The wind's starting to kick up a little bit, and the bridge opening is only like a half hour away, so we're pretty excited to get moving along.
Very excited.
Very excited.
1, 2, 3, 4 boats ahead of us, and one on the dock there that might pull off to head out. And behind us, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, and then 2 more coming down way at the entrance there. So we were on the dock for over 3 hours waiting for the opening. We had a bum information. I read the wrong section of the website that said it opened every 2 hours, but this 1 week in July they do a horse show over here on the island, and changed up the schedule, so that changed up our plans too. But we had a nice relaxing time on the dock. Right near where we tied up on the dock over there was a camping area where they have a place for RVs to come in and probably plug in for electricity and all that down there, so very nice. And they have a walking path and road along here. Very nice, kind of reminds me a little bit of the Cape Cod Canal. The setup along the shore is very popular. The RVs parked along, nice picturesque spot on the water. They've got one RV here with a tent on the top. Yeah. And we get the bridge open now. Everybody's cramming in through here. A little tight up there. We're getting a little bit of distance. Yeah. Wow, they got all this old equipment for like rolling a road across here. This must have been old. That's cool. Yeah, there's some sort of like swing bridge thing at the bottom here too, a weight thing or something. Maybe they had a basketball bridge that rotated here or something. Okay, they're speeding up now ahead of you, so yeah, you got a comfortable distance you could speed up for. An impressive control tower over here.
Alright, we were just getting a ton of rain, and we're coming up right now to the bridge that goes between Malmö and Copenhagen. We crossed over this bridge, I think, on the train. The train is on the lower part when we came over on our flight. So we're going to go between these red and green here, and then underneath the span of the bridge. So I think I see more buoys off to the left, but I don't know.
We're going to go up by TV mark of the bridge. There's like a day marker thing, or a flag. Go up there. And if I can't make this, obviously we're going to have to furl and motor, but...
Okay, what, is it to the left?
We're turning to starboard.
Oh, to starboard. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
You can see it
Yeah. So there are marks on the pillars over there, red and green. All right, so we are just about at the bridge. Going through here. It's raining so hard that there is like a waterfall coming off the bridge. See up there? And there's another waterfall that will come down and probably whack us. So I think this says it's 40 meters high, so that should be plenty of height for us. And of course the winds are getting fluky when we need them to behave. I say just motor if we need to. I know it.
Right. It's been raining all day pretty much. We had a little break in the middle of the day, but it's ugly out. And I'm also bummed because it's supposed to be a pretty nice area to look at in terms of the cities you're going by. We're in the Oresund. So, not the greatest conditions at all. And but we've had good luck in the last week or so. This is really the first rain, any significant rain that we've had. It's just that it's been all drenching and all day. So looking forward to this being over with, and we'll be on our way. We'll be outside the Oresund here in a couple hours, and then we'll be actually right in the ocean, more salt water. We've been in the Baltic with sort of its brackish water, a little bit of salt, a lot of fresh water to it. So that'll be a new experience for us since we entered the Kiel Canal.
Okay, here is the harbor at Helsingor on the Danish side, just north of Copenhagen. And it is just really cool building out here. I don't know whether it's a castle or cathedral. I think Tom said it was a castle. But it's deep right up too, so we can get really close to it on our way past. And it seems like a neat little town over here too. Maybe we'll have to come through here and explore here someday. Yeah, it's really pretty. So we're quite close to pretty serious shipping channel. We've had a couple big ships pass us. We got another one coming down through here, but we're just out of the channel here, so we shouldn't be in their way. All right, we're flying along here past this peninsula on Sweden's west coast. Finally, the skies cleared. We had a morning of rain, a morning and a mid-afternoon of rain, and now we have about 17 knots of wind. Yeah, we're flying along. 9 knots. We have our jib reefed. One reef, our main, is currently full, not reefed. And so far we're doing all right. Some pretty big waves coming in here. We're north of the peninsula that has Copenhagen on it. So a little bit more fetch that reaches over toward the rest of the Jutland Peninsula. And whoa! So we are anchored off the island of Hallands Väderö. It's a really cute area. Great little anchorage. It's a tiny anchorage. Supposedly it's very popular in the summer with people coming out here. Today it's a little bit windy around here, and we're by ourselves, although all around us are these beautiful little cottages and lots and lots of people walking around on shore. So pretty. It's very protected, even though the wind is coming from directly right here, and there's a little bit of swell out there. There's rocks right offshore and all around here, so we're surrounded essentially with rocks and with coastline, and it just keeps you very protected in here. It's been quite rainy most of the day, so we wanted to find a place that would keep us nice and safe.
All right, we're underway at about 4:30 this morning. Karen thought we should leave earlier than our typical 6 a.m. departure because the wind's coming at a bad angle for our anchorage. Trying to concentrate closely on the chart here, with us a little bit tired at the moment. Just waking up. Got a lot of shallows around here as we're curving around to leave the island we anchored by here, and out of here. Once we're clear of these shallows, we should be good for pretty much the whole day. A little bit, yeah, okay, you're working your way over to the middle?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. It's a nice morning, other than the fact that it's down to 8 knots of wind now. It was blowing 18 back there in the anchorage. Beautiful spot. Would have loved to go ashore, but we were too tired yesterday after a long day. Today's gonna be another long day, starting at 4:30. You waking up, Skipper? All right, we are steadily underway now, and it is, sun's coming up over the horizon there. Some clouds a bit. It is a wild and woolly morning. We're doing 8.5 knots, and it's a little lumpy. Been blowing like this all night, so there's a long fetch across here now that we're out of the sort of protection of the Oresund, the bay, and it's part of Copenhagen. So I'm on watch now. Karen went back down for a couple hours. Ooh. All right. And we'll see how this goes. It's a good wind direction, kind of on a beam reach. And it would be a lot worse if we had to be more close hauled, but it's still rough and lumpy, and we got a long day, so it's probably going to be one of our longest today as far as mileage. We got good speed going, so it shouldn't be possibly as long duration, and we've got the benefit of no rain this morning, which is awesome. So, wild and woolly morning.
So what happened?
I hit my head while going downstairs to go for a nap. So I was already tired.
Oh.
Got down, and the boat swung one way, and then it went the other way, and I lost my balance. Hit my head against the cabin.
Yeah, so he came up and he had his hand covering his head, and now he's got a big bump. I just cleaned it out and put a new clean gauze on it. There's the evidence of the cleaning. Didn't bleed too bad, but there's definitely maybe not quite an inch gash. It's, you know, it's still bright red blood, so I'm watching it, and we're gonna watch him for concussion. And we had a great med kit that we worked on last year, so yeah, that came in really handy to know where everything was, and didn't stress about trying to find everything, so that was cool. Alrighty.
Thank you.
Oh goodness, my patient is, well, impatient. He won't stay still. I tried to keep him awake, but mellow for the last several hours of our sail, which remained vigorous until we got into the lee of Kungsö Island. We arrived in the late afternoon and anchored in this large, comfortable bay. After Tom cut his head, we sent pictures and texted with some friends who are medical doctors, and they encouraged me to close Tom's cut with a medical stapler. Yikes. In my nervousness to clean the cut and staple my husband's skull, I recorded the procedure with time-lapse snapshots instead of a constant recording. Sorry for the jittery video. I'm taking the temporary bandage off and cleaning the laceration well with bacitracin, which is an antibiotic spray with a numbing property. I move as much hair out of the way as I can. My first staple didn't go in quite right, so I removed it and then stopped to watch some YouTube videos. Can you believe it? I then practiced putting a staple in a lime before returning to Tom's head. This time, success. Have you ever had an injury at sea or at another remote location? Leave us a comment and tell us how you managed it. Were you nervous? I was. Oh, here comes my patient. He's got his little bandage on his head. Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel so others can more easily discover our content. And, most importantly, join us next time as we go ashore on this island, Kung Su, and neighboring Vrangor, before making our way into one of Göteborg's many marinas. Thanks for joining us as we live our Life 4.0.